Everything has to deal with alcohol and drugs when you come to prison. When I got caught up, it had to do with drugs, you know. It always does.
I got out of prison in July. I stayed out for 45 days. I relapsed and I ended up back in here on new charges.
I've been using heroin for a year now, and I've been addicted really bad. I was using probably more than 100 a day. A lot of us have the same problems and dealing with the same issues, and they just don't know where to turn.
I need somebody to help me, like to continue to stay on my feet because I have an addiction. That's why I keep coming back to this place.
I've been a heroin addict for over 40 years. I had a 17-year sentence to do, and I did 11 years locked up straight on it. We're creatures of habit. I get out and come back to the same stuff. So you ain't never, all you're doing is doing a big circle, going in circles like a dog following its tail. I came down, and that's the first time I saw Mary Beth, and we're talking and stuff.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, okay. I was already slipping. The monkey was starting to become a gorilla. Still got my bad and good days, okay? You know, it can be done. It's not gonna be easy. And there's people, there's places out here that'll help you.
I remember when I was locked up and the way people viewed me. When I came out, there was this stigma, what a person that's a tecato or a person that's been in prison really looks like. I believe we're all people and deserving of a chance or a change. That was part of my own life story. And it's been a long haul for me to get to where I am today. I just wanted people to really understand and know that. You can go to prison and you can still change your life, and you can walk out of those doors and you can be free.
Traditionally, addiction was thought of as a disorder of willpower. It's true that a lot of times addiction does start with a choice. A lot of types of diseases start with a choice. Someone may make an initial choice, but end up with a problem down the line that they weren't able to anticipate. Drugs that can cause addiction kind of hijack our natural circuitry. And those drugs flood that circuitry with massive amounts of input. The brain is so flooded that the brain changes so that it doesn't have as many receptors afterward. What happens when somebody stops using the drug? Someone not only has to deal with the withdrawal and the craving, they also aren't able to get pleasure from natural experiences. They feel like their brain's not working right, and they're right. Sometimes we need to address that through using medications. For a long time, pretty much the only medication that we had to treat opiate addiction was methadone.
Methadone is an opiate replacement.
Hi. Name and dose, please.
It's basically a legal opiate that we use to control the withdrawal symptoms and the cravings. Patients that are on methadone usually have a normal life.
I was on the streets for like 22 years. Now my life has changed. I have a baby, I have a new life, I have a home.
Patients have to come to the clinic initially every day, and it can go up to coming to the clinic once a month.
I don't have to worry about just like the side stuff, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do for my fix, you know? I just
wake up, roll out of bed, throw on my shoes, and go to the methadone clinic, and I'm wowing until the next day.
At MDC, patients who come to jail on methadone can continue their treatment through this program.
Okay, well, you're at 1:30 still, okay?
When I was out there, I was doing good and I was holding a job and everything, and I hadn't really been able to do that. If I'm not on methadone, I'm always trying to chase that high. But if I'm on the methadone, I could work, I could sit here and communicate, be normal, and just, you know what I mean, just be myself, basically.
My son was born on methadone, but you can't even tell he was born on methadone. He's such a good, happy baby.
Methadone is a very effective treatment. It has very good track record. It is definitely an option for the heroin-dependent individual.
So you got out of jail and you haven't been using since then?
No, well, I relapsed about 2 weeks ago. I started going crazy and I'm like, no, but I don't want to use it. So I just want to get to the point where I don't have to feel like that. I could just, I don't know, just be okay.
Back in 2002, the federal government approved a new medication for the treatment of opiate addiction, and that's buprenorphine. The doctor can prescribe buprenorphine in the office, and the person can go home with a prescription or with a bottle of pills and take the buprenorphine at home in privacy. It stops them from having withdrawal symptoms. It will pretty much get rid of their craving to use heroin or pain pills. When you start taking Suboxone, it is an opiate, so your body becomes dependent on it, just like it was dependent when you were using a lot of Percocet or OxyContin. It is in the brain, and it's occupying the same receptors in the brain that those drugs are. It cuts craving, it cuts withdrawal symptoms, but it doesn't make people sleepy or high. People just say that they feel normal. They describe it as feeling like they felt back before they started using. If you take 2 of the 8 milligram tablets a day, that's enough that all of the opiate receptors in your brain are completely occupied by the Suboxone. If you take that much in the morning and then you go out and somebody offers you some OxyContin, you know that if you use it, you're not going to get high because there's no room in your brain's all taken up by the Suboxone. Suboxone is buprenorphine plus another drug called Narcan or naloxone. When someone has had an opiate overdose, they're given Narcan and it makes them withdraw immediately. Suboxone is made to take under the tongue. You put it under your tongue and it dissolves all the way. When you do that, only the buprenorphine gets absorbed into the body and the Narcan doesn't. The Narcan just disappears, dissolves. So if someone is addicted to heroin and they inject Suboxone or they snort it, it will have the Narcan effect and will make them withdraw really spectacularly. Tell me about any use of tranquilizer pills. If you take Suboxone along with a tranquilizer like Valium or Ativan or Xanax, people actually do stop breathing sometimes if they take those together. So we're really serious about you can't mix those two.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks. Thank you so much. We ask them to come back to clinic, usually the next day, having stopped their use of heroin or other opiates.
You just can't go in there and just get the pills and you're in and out. You have to be going through withdrawals.
Hi, Marie.
There you are, Therese.
Yeah. According to this scale, with your cramping, your nose running, and diarrhea, all those symptoms, you are in a right zone to start the Suboxone. Because, you know, if you're not sick enough,
It doesn't work.
right.
They don't need to be horribly sick, but they need to be starting to be pretty uncomfortable from no longer having heroin or OxyContin or another opiate in their body.
I'm going to mark the time.
First, it's under the tongue.
Yeah.
So you put it under your tongue, and in about 20 minutes, you'll be feeling normal again. No pain, you know, and you'll feel like you want to go out there and clean the yard. And it's a great feeling.